CF 273, State versus Isaiah Clemens. Thank you. Mr. Gilbert?
I have a moment with defendant, Your Honor.
All right, is the state going to present any evidence for the pretrial detention or rely on?
Well, Your Honor, I was discussing this issue with Mr. Gilbert. I've tried to notify the victims. The charges are egregious. It's punishable by life. It's a felony punishable by life. I am not aware of the victims' positions as to a bond, so what I would propose is, if I could request to continue it to next Thursday, to have a chance to communicate with the victims. And I've told Mr. Gilbert that if I communicate with them and they are in agreement to some sort of bond, we would send you a stipulated order for that.
How about that?
Yes, Your Honor, we've been trying to work out a stipulated option, but we haven't gotten any result so far.
Well, why don't you do that, and so that we can, I'll be happy to consider that if the victims are agreeable to some type of bond, and the state stipulates to it.
Yes, Judge, that's my
The
intention.
problem we've had, Your Honor, is that they've, while I was in court yesterday with the victims, apparently state has not had any contact with them. They haven't participated with state. And so we have this hearing. He's stuck. We're waiting for victims that aren't in contact with the state. I have no sense of when this could, when we could.
Well, I can only continue it one time under the new law. I can only continue it to next Thursday, and then we have to have a hearing or a stipulation or something. So that's as long as I can. I'm not going to continue it for a month or something. It's just, and if y'all can work it out, send me an order sooner than that.
Absolutely, Your Honor, that's my intention.
But, so you feel that the victims, see what y'all can work out, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Clemens, I'll be happy to consider some type of bond if the victims, whatever they say. Of course, I will consider what you say if you want to say something, but we'll just continue it till next Thursday, give your attorney a chance and the state a chance to talk with the victims, okay? Well, they're not here, so the state can have one continuance, okay? Thank you.
Just
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. I'll call you tomorrow if I talk to them.
Yeah, come stand over next to me. Sir, I'm Jay Williams. I'm going to be handling your case for today's purposes. You won't be my client in the end. You're in the wrong section of the alphabet. But the other attorney will be handling you. I believe it's going to be Tim Gibbs.
Okay.
What's next, what's that date? February 13th,
The pre-trial?
15th? Yeah,
Oh, next, yes,
next Wednesday, next Thursday is,
the 15th.
okay. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Jay Williams for the defense.
Yes. And this is State of Florida versus Christopher James Ellender, 2024 CF 264. Okay?
Judge, I believe this is the state's motion. The state filed a motion for pretrial detention.
Yes, Your Honor. Judge Schlechter, at first appearance, ordered the state to file the motion, and I did so.
All right, let me get my paperwork here. All right, it does say the state filed a motion for pretrial detention. And he is charged with threat to kill, bodily harm another, written or electronic threat. And go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor, the state is asking for pretrial detention out of concern for the safety of the victim. It appears that she was the victim in a prior battery case with this defendant, and this time he actually wrote, and the text messages were collected by law enforcement, where he was going to put a bullet into, I'm going to put a bullet straight between your eyes, Laura, and I'm going to come there within the night's over with. So I'm going to end your life. I'm going to end my mom's life, and I'm going to end my kid's life, and I'm going to do it with a effing smile on my face. The victim apparently is aware that this defendant could get a hold of a gun and believes in those threats. She was visibly shaken when interviewed by law enforcement based on the report. And as I said, this behavior shows a pattern of escalating violence from a misdemeanor battery to actually threats to kill, and the belief that from the victim that he will go forward with it. So the state is concerned for the safety of the community and the victim and requests that he be held without bond.
And the state's relying on the police reports.
Yes, and the affidavit of the victim contained in the report.
Mr. Williams.
Judge, the pretrial detention statute does mention this particular charge. It would have to go under that. It's a second-degree felony, so it's not going to fall under the life felony proof is great provision of the pretrial detention statute and the applicable rule of criminal procedure. In this term, though, the defendant did give a statement. And it said that he was angry and was basically talking off the top of his head, had no actual intent. I will note that it was not imminent. It was something sent by text message. It was not as though the two of them were face-to-face. It wouldn't qualify, for example, as an assault because of the lack of immediacy of imminent harm. So I'll ask that the court impose a bond. In terms of conditions that might satisfy the concerns of the state and the court, an active GPS with an exclusion zone certainly would do that. And I would ask that the court consider imposing an active GPS instead of an outright denial of bond.
Your Honor, if I may,
I'm going to find there is a substantial probability based on those reports. And, but I understand that, these kind of cases oftentimes do work out in some manner. But with these type of threats, and I'm going to find there's a basis, substantial probability that the pattern of behavior is a threat to the victim or possibly the community at this time, but perhaps this is a kind of case that can be worked out with some bond in the future or some plea or something or trial. But at this time, no bond.
If I can get.
Hello, this is Chris Norman at Bulldog Bail Bonds. Our office is in Crestview, Florida, but we service 7 Northwest Florida counties. If you ever find yourself in a jam, please give us a call. We're here to help you out.
Do we have a hearing, some type of,
I believe that Ms. Bosso has a 3850.
this
That's the-
afternoon? I
this
thought-
afternoon.
Okay, I thought my 3850s had all gotten resolved or continued or something.
I thought Ms. Bosso
Okay,
indicated that.
all right, well, okay, no problem.
I'm showing a Bullabell, which I think has been continued, and then what I'm showing was Camden Barnum, and that was his also.
And that's going to be continued.
So I thought I was thinking these were, my case were continued, but if Ms. Basso has, that's fine. I think,
Yeah, that is, what's that other one that you have for Ms. Bosso?
Oh, I
We don't have
just
it
printed
here.
out, yeah,
It's
printed out
Matt's.
the second page
Me
because it
and
had
me.
my stuff on it.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe it's on the first page.
what's this gentleman, which case are you for? 130, okay, well, we'll see you at 1:30 then, okay? All right, anything else, Ms.?